Hello and welcome back to Ace Academy. She stares intently out the window and sits back uncomfortably straight. Her uniform lacks teal stripes. Guess she's not a pilot. Seems pretty cute. Wonder why there's an empty seat beside her. Maybe she's not that friendly? Oh, take your chances, man. I fall in gracefully into the seat beside her. We sit in silence as I muster the courage to speak to her, and eventually she shifts uncomfortably under my gaze and I clear my throat. You go to Ace Academy too? I mentally slap myself for choosing such an idiotic question. I mean, obviously she does, that was the first thing I noticed. But to my surprise, she smiles warmly at me.
Yes, I do.
She gestures at my uniform.
You're in the pilot program? I heard it's very competitive and difficult to get into.
Just needs hard work. I think anyone can make it as long as they try. She gives me a polite smile. Right, I didn't catch which program you're in. Or your name for that matter. I'm Richard.
I'm Yuna Misaki. I'm studying PHPT.
I've just realised, even though this game's fully voiced, because you get to enter your main character's name, none of the other characters will ever refer to you by name. Interesting. Sorry, just something I realised. PHPT. No idea. PHPT?
Pilot Health and Physiotherapy.
Awesome. Before I can ask anything else, the bus grinds to a stop.
Ace Academy.
I hop off the bus and Yuna follows suit. The roar of the departing bus doesn't dampen the student chatter, and Yuna pulls out her phone and checks her schedule. Ask where her class is. So what's your first class?
Introduction to Psychology.
Always fun. Psychology?
Mental health is just as important as physical health. That class is...
She points over her shoulder towards a towering building in the distance.
all the way over there. What class do you have?
I check my own phone. Piloting 101.
Oh, you're first year?
No, second. Credit wasn't accepted when I transferred.
Oh, I see. Well, welcome to Ace Academy.
Hey, thanks.
Well, if there's anything you need help with, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I pretty much know this campus inside out.
Always useful. Also, I can't believe I'm going to compliment the artist on this. Thank you for being relatively reserved. I mean, yes, there are noticeable female contours, but they're not ridiculously over the top. The skirts are a bit on the short side, but in the grand scheme of things, providing we don't get too many gratuitous upskirt shots, I'm going to call the art... I'm going to compliment the artist on that. It says something when I have to compliment them on not being massively over-sexualized. See if she knows how to get a parking permit. A thought dawns on me. Actually, do you know where I can get a parking permit?
I do. I can take you there now, actually, since I have some time before class starts.
Great, that helps a lot, thanks.
Of course. Follow me.
Yuna weaves through the throng of students, and it takes most of my concentration not to lose her. I notice the number of students lounging around the front lawn. I assume those are the upperclassmen, the ones who are used to a university workings. The students with worried eyes, moving somewhere between a walk and a jog, must be first years. Yeah, I remember that feeling. Eventually we pause in front of a grand building, which looks just like the ones we passed. I stare at it hard, trying to find a way to Sorry, hiccups. I stare at it hard, trying to find a way to distinguish it from the others. Yuna watches me.
Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah.
Then let's go inside.
Sure. After sneaking one last look, I follow Yuna inside. She takes me through a series of hallways before pausing in front of a door marked Campus Administration. We both reach for the door at the same time, but I'm faster. She smiles as I hold the door for her.
Oh, thank you.
What would have been a spacious office is instead crowded with irritated students. Only one person mans the desk, and he does not look like someone who's particularly accommodating. Yuna points to a row of chairs against the far wall.
I'll wait for you over there.
Thanks. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. If it does, feel free to leave. I wouldn't want you to be late.
Don't worry, I have some time.
She smiles reassuringly before heading over to the seats. I stand in line, and as I crane my neck to see the front of the line, I catch the scowl on the administrator's face. He shakes his head, but the student continues to argue with him. This is going to take a while.
Next!
The line crawls at a steady pace, and after what seems like forever, I finally walk up to the counter. Hi, I need a parking pass for a motorcycle.
You'll have to fill out your request online, which you can access through your web link. Approval takes about 1 to 2 weeks, and if approved, a physical pass will be mailed to you.
Righto, thank you. Before I can respond, he looks past me.
Next!
Hold on! I plant a hand firmly on his desk. He scowls at me.
What?
Let's talk about this. Sure. This is one of those moments where I wish I'd had more thought before speaking. He waits for me to finish, but I can see the impatience building in his eyes. Just now or never. Flirt with him, try and be reasonable, make up an elaborate story. Try and be reasonable. Look, that's a complicated process for something so simple. There has to be an easier way. The man taps the desk with his finger.
There isn't. If you have an issue with this process, you could send a complaint online.
It's just a bike pass.
I don't have time for this.
He tries to look around me, but I block him. Come on! I hold his gaze, and just when I think he's about to give in, his expression hardens.
Nope. Next!
I sign resignation. There's no getting through to him, so I turn around and start to head out. Suddenly, Yuna is beside me. A smile falters when she sees my face.
Is everything okay?
I shrug. I wasn't able to get a pass. She frowns, her eyebrows knit delicately together.
Hold on.
She walks straight up to the desk, much to the dismay of the student in line. The man seems nervous by her approach. I can't hear what she says, but he looks ashamed and withdraws a pass from a drawer. As she plucks the pass from his fingers, she thanks him with a slight bow of her head, which he returns. Yuna returns with a soft smile on her face and holds out the pass.
Here you go.
How on earth did she do that? Maybe she used magic, or those hypnotic eyes of hers. Right, the pass. Oh, yeah, thanks. She smiles.
No problem at all.
I take it from her and put it in my wallet. We head out as another flood of students enter the office. There seem to be fewer students milling around outside and more hurrying towards classes. I check the time. 25 minutes until class starts.
Do you know where your first class is?
Yeah, it's here. I show her the campus map on my phone. A small flashing light indicates where I need to be.
Oh, that's close by. I can walk there with you.
That'd be great. We head down one of the narrow paths, and it leads straight to a regal-looking building with tall, arching windows. There are only a few students meandering about.
This is it.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
It's no problem at all.
And you're off to psychology?
Mm-hmm.
So what other classes do you have this semester? She pulls out her phone and I do the same, and we study each other's schedule.
Well, it looks like we have history of robotics together on Friday.
Guess that means we'll be seeing a lot more of each other. We both exchange smiles. I notice the time on my phone. 15 minutes until class. Class is starting soon. Yuna peers at her phone before tucking it back into her pocket.
Oh, right. I have to go or I'll be late. See you Friday?
I nod, and we go our separate ways. After a few steps, I realise I don't have anywhere to contact her apart from our Friday class. I turn around, but she's already a good distance away. Let it go for now. Let it go. Let it go. Can't ask for her number anymore. She's already too far away. I'll talk to her on Friday. I watch as she disappears around the corner. I take a deep breath, steeling my nerves, and firmly push open the doors to the auditorium. After a quick scan of the room, I select a seat near the back. I can tell this is a first-year introductory class, based on how spread out the students are and how quiet the room is. I hate that I have to take intro classes again. Some of my elective from CINY didn't encompass the full scope of course material, whatever that means. A hush blankets the auditorium as a man strides into the front of the room.
Good morning. This is Piloting 101. Is everyone where you are supposed to be?
The professor waits patiently as a handful of students shuffle towards the nearest exit. I yawn and watch them leave with disinterest. He drags a web page from his tablet onto the screen behind him.
This is the class web link. Consider this portal as your lifeline for the course. You will find all your assignments and readings here, as well as your current grade in the course. You can find my contact information in the tab marked Contact. My office hours are listed, so please do not hesitate to stop by. Even I get lonely at times, and I appreciate visitors.
That comment got a couple of weak chuckles from the room. He's being thorough. Let's memorize it. I automatically store the information into memory. I'm assuming because that was green, that wouldn't have been available if I hadn't picked, intellectual at the beginning. I'd guess. I suspect I might get different options based on which I picked, which, hey, I've got no problem with that. That's a, good little thing to introduce to a visual novel, so yeah. I automatically store the information into my memory.
Now that we've gotten all the boring stuff out the way, I'm sure you're all eager to learn more about the qualifier exams on Friday.
Beg pardon? The class visibly perks up.
The qualifier exam will not only register you as an active pilot, but will also provide you with your team ranking. I'm sure you've already picked out your teams by now, but I'd still like to remind you all that each team must have a minimum of 4 people in order to qualify.
Well, bollocks. A hand shoots up from the middle of the room.
Yes?
Are you sure exams are this Friday? That only gives us 2 days to find a team.
Soft snickers fill the room. The student visibly shrinks away from all the eyes now focused on him.
The majority of students who began their first year here at Ace Academy are aware of the timeline for the qualifier exams and use their summers to form a team and prepare. In the past, we had extended the preparation time before the exam, but found that the majority of students did not need nor want the extra days, so we adjusted our schedules accordingly.
Oh, wonderful.
But what about those of us who didn't know about the qualifier ahead of time? What do we do?
Scramble together.
I suggest you get to work finding yourself a team. Any other questions?
The student scowls but shakes his head.
Good. The qualifier exam will pit your team's starting 4 against 4 AI gears. You would then be assigned a ranking based upon your overall performance relative to the other teams. Don't worry if you can't defeat all the AI gears. They are programmed to be extremely difficult to beat. Please ensure your gear is in pristine condition for battle. All exams are demonstrated live instead of in a simulator to most accurately gauge ability.
Oh, wonderful.
Any questions?
He's answered with silence.
Let's get started then.
So piloting 101 and 2 days in, we have to fight something.
Complete for the next class.
Awesome.
Welcome to Ace Academy. I hope you all have a great rest of the day.
Well, this is going to be interesting. The thunder of chairs scrapes along the floor as students file out of the class. Those who remain chat animatedly in small groups. Yawning, I wait for the crowd in front of the door to thin before making my way from the room. Once I'm by the door, a snippet of nearby conversation catches my attention.
Hey, did you see what they brought into the hangar today?
Yeah, that ancient-looking thing? I'll be amazed if it still works. Where the hell do you even find something like that? I bet they fished it out of the ocean.
They're talking about my mech, aren't they? Oh, I am going to prove them so wrong, I assume. The students laugh loudly. I have a sinking feeling I know what they're talking about. As I hurry out of the classroom, I check my phone, and I'm excited to see an email notification. I eagerly read through the email. It's just a note letting me know that my gear has been registered, and I now have access to the hangar. Well, that makes things easy for me. At CINY, I spent days going through the registration process. We had to submit all the paperwork ourselves, and nobody in the administrative office was ever helpful. Satisfied, I put away my phone and make my way to the hangar. I bring up the map on my phone and touch the hangar, which lights up. Soon, pulsating lights dot the path from my current location to the hangar. It's a bit of a trek away from the heart of the campus, but I make good time, and I scan my ID and walk in. I follow a long hallway, which leads to a grand space filled with towering gears. Every one of them is sleek, refined, and updated with the latest model of accessories and weapons. They weren't kidding when they said Japan was the leader in mecha technology. I walk past several rows of gear until... Hello, beautiful. I'm reunited with Eagle. I'll freely admit, I have a thing for giant mecha and that kind of stuff. I wonder if who sent this? I can't remember who sent this to me now. I apologise for forgetting who you were. It was a couple of weeks ago. I wonder if they were aware of the fact that I'm a sucker for giant mecha. A crowd of students surround it, and they speak in hushed tones, break into snickers when they notice me. I push my way towards them, but they disperse before I even reach them. Most are trying to hide their laughter and fail miserably. I give my gear a detailed inspection to make sure it didn't suffer any dings or damage during transit. But it's in great working condition, which is ultimately what matters. The colours are still bright too. I wonder if they polished it for me, or if it always looked this good.
The other guys might laugh at your gear, but I sense that it's different. Spirit. Something that makes it stand out amongst the others. Yes, I can feel this one is truly special indeed.
Oh boy. Why is there always a... I don't want to use the word hippie, but you know exactly what I mean. I hadn't actually noticed the student beside me. His arms are folded and he's nodding with closed eyes as if he's saying something truly deep and meaningful. Damn right it's something special. I'm glad at least someone here knows a good gear when he sees one. I also fold my arms and nod. I'm tempted to ask him to repeat himself so I can record those words of wisdom. Damn right. I think the other guys are just scared. Do you need something?
Oh, right.
He seems almost surprised, as if he'd forgotten why he came. And he fidgets so much, I wonder if he's nervous.
The name's Sho. Sho Shinjiro. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise, Sho. He thrusts his hand out in greeting, grinning from ear to ear, and I cautiously shake his hand. Hi. I'm Richard.
You're a second-year pilot too, right?
Yeah. How did you...
Not that many students transfer during second year, you know? You're the talk of the pilot's lounge. A mysterious, foreign transfer student.
That would explain the interest around my gear. Guess I didn't quite live up to their expectations. Don't know what they're expecting, though.
And I deduced that you are this transfer student.
I wonder what gave me away. Couldn't possibly have been my magnificent golden locks.
I've gotta say, I thought you'd be taller.
Well, let's face it, real world me is 6'5" and a smidge, so you know, you don't get much taller. He starts comparing our heights with his hand. It's a bit disappointed we'll find out we're about the same height. Again, what was he expecting? We don't all look like the Count and... Okay. We don't all look like Count... Leonardo... Should that be Leonardo... I can't tell if that's a deliberate swap or if that's a spelling error. It's gotta be... I'm just saying Leonardo DiCaprio, okay? We don't always look like Leonardo DiCaprio. I think his perception of America is a bit skewed.
Anyway, you're new here, which means you're not part of a team yet, right?
Right. That's been on my mind since class ended. I nod, almost certain I know what he's about to say next.
Well, it just so happens that my team is lacking that oh-so-vital fourth member we need to be able to compete.
He looks at me hopefully, then leans in close. A little too close. Personal space, man.
You see where I'm going with this, don't you? Basically what I'm saying is, you should join my team because we're awesome.
Yeah, what the heck? What the hell? He seems friendly enough. I'm not exactly in a position to be picky about whose team I join. Sure, why not?
Now that's what I'm talking about, Brosif.
Please don't call me Brosif. Excitement brightens his face and... Okay, I'll admit the feeling is somewhat infectious.
Come on, our lounge is that way. I'll introduce you to the team.
Sho and I start making our way back down the hall.
Now, where should I start? Oh right, so there's this girl.
Sho talks the entire way to the lounge. He's constantly interrupting himself and going off on tangents, so I only catch about half of what he's saying. We navigate the tunnels and eventually reach the exit. Sho opens the door and ushers me through, with a small flourish. The lounge is filled with groups of pilots. Guess everyone's catching up with their team. Sho squeezes between the groups and I follow him towards the back corner of the room. He pauses in front of two girls. The one with dark hair stares at her feet as soon as she notices Sho, while the one with red hair continues chatting on her cell phone. Sho motions towards the dark-haired girl.
This is Mayu. She's the coolest person on this team. But, don't tell Kaori I said that.
Gotcha. He glances at the redhead, who isn't paying the slightest bit of attention to us. Mayu blushes deeply.
That's not true.
It's nice to meet you, Mayu. I'm Richard. I smile at her and hold out my hand. She wrinkles her brow in confusion and gingerly shakes my hand. Continues to shake it.
Sorry!
She immediately drops my hand and returns her gaze to the floor. Sho turns towards the redhead.
Hey, quit being rude.
Her gaze shifts to him and her smile falters.
I mean, will you be done soon? I'd like you to meet someone.
She frowns.
I need to call you back.
And snaps her phone shut. Hello, Sundra character! Some of them you can just, please, anime characters, step forward and state your stereotype.
So, this is Kaori.
She gives me a quick once-over and crosses her arms over her chest.
Pilot?
Not just any pilot, but a pilot who's willing to join my team.
Your team?
Her eyes narrow at Sho and he shrinks back and wears a sheepish grin.
I mean, our team.
That's better.
She turns back towards me.
I suppose you'll do. Not like we really have a choice or anything.
Gee, it's lovely to be accepted so warmly. Nice to meet you. I extend my hand. I'm Richard, pleased to meet you. She stares blankly at my hand and makes no move to take it. And after a minute I lower it. Well, that was awkward. Anyway, thanks for letting me join your team. I was kind of worried I wouldn't be able to find one. Sho claps me on the back.
Aren't you glad you had me to look out for you?
Yeah, you're like my fairy godmother.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Kaori snorts, surprising both of us, Shu especially. He continues to stare at her and her frown returns.
What?
I just didn't know you were able to laugh.
Her hands clench into fists.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
She relaxes and refolds her arms over her chest.
Just because I don't laugh at your stupid jokes doesn't mean I don't have a sense of humor.
He leans into me and lowers his voice.
Don't listen to her. I'm hilarious.
Oh god.
Anyway, welcome to the team, bro.
Thanks.
So you're probably wondering why we need another member.
Yep. Actually, I hadn't, but nobody mentions it. Yeah, kind of.
Basically, Kaori and I were part of this super awesome team, but then they stopped being awesome, so we left.
Wow, Sho. For once you didn't ramble.
He feigns offense.
You wound me. All my stories are brief. Remember when I told you about my one birthday where everyone showed up wearing the same clothes as me?
He turns to me.
Actually, it's a pretty good story. So basically, I grew up in this kind of... Mayu knows what I'm talking about.
Don't encourage him.
I didn't. Mayu smiles faintly.
Anyway, the point is, we used to be on a team, but left because the team was turning into something we didn't agree with.
Well, that sounds ominous.
Except Mayu. She's a first year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got a whole bunch of invites to other teams, but decided to join us. We're pretty lucky to have her.
So how come you chose this team? Mayu shifts uncomfortably under my gaze.
I trust Sho.
I wait for her to say more, but she doesn't. Kaori taps her foot impatiently.
So, now that you know all that, are you in?
They're all, well, a little strange in their own way, but I think I can learn to get along with them. Even Kaori. Yeah, I'm in.
Great!
Kaori checks her phone.
I've spent too much time talking to you and I need to get home.
With a short wave, she heads out.
We should get going too.
Mayu nods. Yeah, me too.
We'll see you tomorrow?
Yeah, see you. We wave goodbye and go our separate ways. I start to head towards the parking lot before I remember I left my bike at home today. Oh shoot, I forgot to check bus schedules. Oh, hopefully there's one coming soon. I scroll through the schedules as I try to hurry towards the front of the campus. Pick up and drop off are in the same location, right? When I make it to the bus stop, there's a handful of students there, already waiting. I crane my neck to look for Yuna, but she's not there. I suppose that was wishful thinking, anyway. After what feels like a lifetime, the bus arrives. I'm able to find a seat right away and have a fairly uneventful ride home. As soon as I open the front door, I hear a clanging in the kitchen. Nikki must be home. Just as I predicted, she's stirring a pot, surrounded by a mess of appliances. Hey, Nikki. She glances up in surprise.
Hey, you're home early.
Am I? It's right around dinner time. What are you making?
Guess.
I try to peek into the pot, but she hides it from
No
me.
cheating.
Okay. My nose knows. I breathe in deeply and pause to the sort of aromas lingering in the air. The dominant scent is of tomatoes, or by meat, beef specifically, but also a hint of celery, basil. You're making bolognese. She laughs and shows me the simmering sauce in the pot.
Good guess.
Wasn't a guess. The super smeller knows. I solemnly tap my nose.
You're so weird. Who actually names their nose?
Laugh all you want now, but you'll be singing a different tune when the super smeller gets you out of danger.
And why would I be in danger?
I don't know. Maybe your enemies are planning to sneak attack you. She laughs again.
I don't have any enemies.
Just give it time.
Rude. I'm very likable.
She swats at my arm, and it's my turn to laugh. Look, I'm just glad you're the one cooking and not me. Everything you make's delicious. You have a talent, you know that?
Oh, shut up.
She tries to hold back her smile, but fails. Did you go shopping after school today? I didn't know Uncle Kaido kept all these ingredients at home.
Yeah, I did. Sushi yesterday was so good, but I wanted something more hearty today, you know?
To Nikki, hearty foods are comfort foods. Does that mean you had a bad day at school? She blinks in surprise, and then laughs.
Of course not. It was great. I met a lot of people at the club fair they held after school. There are so many cool clubs. Did you know they have a kendo club? You definitely wouldn't find that back home.
I know someone in a kendo club. How do you think I was able to borrow a katana in order to, have it on the show? Seriously, perks of having friends who are really into swords.
I think I'm gonna try out for their dance team, though. Maybe run for student government.
Wow. Sounds like you've had a productive day. She quickly checks the pasta and nods.
Definitely. I'm a little disappointed they don't have a cooking club, but that's okay. They offer a cooking class, which I'm taking. Soon, I will be an expert in Japanese cuisine.
Maybe you can start a cooking club.
Oh, maybe.
I begin to set the table for 3 when Nikki shakes her head.
Didn't you see Uncle Kaido's text? He'll be home late tonight.
Oh, I haven't been checking my phone. Soon the table is set and both Nikki and I have a full portion of pasta in front of us.
How was your first day?
It was alright. Joined a team, which is pretty lucky considering only one team was actually looking for members.
That's good. What are your teammates like?
They're all pretty, distinct. One girl's kind of terrifying, another's so quiet I forgot she's there, and the guy who recruited me, well, he's definitely a special snowflake.
I'm not sure I believe that you're the most normal person there. So, it sounds like finding a team today was super important.
Yep. The qualifier's on Friday.
But that's in 2 days.
I know. Everyone else knew this in advance and formed teams over the summer.
Well, that's not really fair.
Yeah, but it's fine. In other news, met Yuna. Really nice girl on the bus today.
Oh, do you like her? Is she gonna be your girlfriend?
Shut up. Look, she was just really helpful.
Oh, yeah?
Look, she showed me the way to the administrative office.
Because you can't get there on your own?
look, it's a good thing she did, because when the receptionist gave me a hard time, she stepped in, got me the parking pass.
You're right, she does sound helpful. Sounds like you've had quite the day.
That, I think, is an excellent point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next.